Hi guys, and welcome to the first video on this new FPL channel. My name is FPL Meerkat, and I thought what better way to kick off the channel with an initial draft, a whole 3 weeks before the first game week starts. The full game has been out for about 2 weeks now, and I've been having ideas about what players I'd like, but I thought I'd do a live first draft for you guys, so let's get straight into things. So here it is guys, the brand new interface for the FPL 2022-23 season. I really like it. It's taken a while to get used to, but I feel like the blue is a lot more lively than the purple colour they used before. So you're probably thinking, who's the first player who's going to put in? I'm just going to get it right at the bat because this is essential. Salah has to be in. Salah has to be in every single draft, I think, because even though he's 30 million, he's the most expensive player in the game by at least by a million. His point potential, he's been doing it for 4 or 5 years. He's just going to be an absolute monster again, I feel. And even though he's not the most clinical of finishes, Liverpool just creates so many chances, which is why as well Diaz I think has to be in. He has been really underpriced in my opinion. I don't think he should be 8 million. I think he is going to be replacing that Mane spot at Liverpool. I think he's going to be getting a lot more game time. He might miss the odd game here and there with Nunez and Jota and potentially Firmino getting some game time, but I think Salah starts every game. Nunez and Diaz probably starts about 8 or 9 out of 10 games for Liverpool. He was by far Liverpool's best player at the end of last season. And to finish off the Liverpool trio, Alexander-Arnold next. I have thought about Robertson just because of his much lower ownership, but I think Trent's potential for goals from free kicks just tips him over for me, and his chance creation is just slightly higher than Robertson. I know at the end of last season Robertson's creation was higher, but I think he's just a lot more. He's a lot. I think spending that 0.5 million more, he's a much better option. I think Tsimikas as well. Tsimikas takes some minutes away from Robertson. I know Liverpool have just signed Ramsey, but I think Trent will still be very nailed, and I think he will be starting most of the games in the season, probably about 35, 36 games in the season, as long as he's not injured. I've seen... Sorry, next I'm going to go for a 4.5 million goalkeeper. I always like to go for a 4.5 million goalkeeper, and I think I'm going to go with Sanchez. I am looking at Raya, but Brentford have just signed a new goalkeeper. I do think Raya is a better pick if he's nailed, but because Brentford have signed another goalkeeper, I'm just leaning away from him for now, and I do like Brentford's defence, even though they've got obviously Man United first. Their fixtures are very good for the first 8, and I think with the goalkeeper spot, I don't like to make too many changes at the goalkeeper spot. Last season I made a lot of changes, and I think that is what caused my rank to go down. I finished with an overall rank of about 34,000. And I think that was largely due to how many hits I took changing goalkeeper, trying to get it right. So I think I'm just going to stick by Sanchez or a 4.5 million goalkeeper for most of the season. And then his substitute 4 million goalkeeper, Steele at Brighton, just in case Sanchez gets injured. Spend as little money as possible at the goalkeeper spot would be my advice. Now I've seen a lot of drafts who have gone big at the back, because that's where they believe the value will be. Even though I agree with that, I'm going to try and do something a little bit different. I think I'm going to aim for a 4-4-2 formation, just because I don't like watching games with the constant fear of, if I have 2 defenders from Chelsea, for example, if I have James and Chilwell, if Chelsea concede a goal, that's it. My game week's pretty much ruined. And I think just having 5 defenders and a goalkeeper in your team, you've got 6 potential clean sheet losses there, and that just, I don't feel like I get much fun from watching the games. I get a lot more fun watching my attackers potentially score points and get assists than I do just waiting out for a clean sheet. Despite the attacking potential of a lot of these players. I think I will go for Reece James. I think it is good to get a Chelsea defender in. Their fixtures look fantastic. And I prefer James over Chilwell just because Chilwell's been back from injury. I know he is he is fantastic on his day, but just because he's been injured, I'm going to go for Reece James for now. And then let's see, team selected by Perisic. Yes, Perisic. I'm definitely putting in. Even though Spurs defence, the data for Spurs defence has actually been pretty good, but I never really trust them. Is mainly for his attacking potential. I think 5.5 million is an absolute steal for him. I think he'll start most games, and he really suits Conte's system, as we've seen at Inter Milan. He had some great attacking stats. So yeah, he is straight in my team. I hope you can't hear my laptop about to bloody take off at the moment. It's really heating up. And I think I'm going to go for Cash as well. I do really like Aston Villa's initial fixtures. What I mostly like about Cash is he started every game for Aston Villa. He's just completely nailed. I think that Bournemouth game first is going to be a great start to the season. The fixtures do get a bit tough, 5 to 7. I think I will probably look to move him on after the first 4, but I think to start with is a great pick. And 4 million defender, yeah, Nico Williams signed recently for Nottingham Forest from Liverpool. He is going to have quite a lot of minutes. I think he's almost nailed. Very sure of minutes, but yeah, he's going to go there for the 4 million spot. Midfielders. I think I need another cheap midfielder. I do really like the look of the 8 million midfielders. So if I sort by price, I think I'm going to go with Foden. I think I really do want to pick someone from the Man City attack. And actually, I'm going to throw him in now. I'm not going to go for Haaland. I'm going to go for Kane instead. I just think he's the better pick right now. Despite the fixtures not being quite as good for Spurs than they are for City, and Haaland obviously being way more exciting, I just think that first fixture for Kane, I can see him doing well against Southampton. And then for some reason, Haaland, even though all this data, all the stats say that he's going to be incredible for City, I just don't think he's going to get off to a very good start. I think he's going to have a bit of a rocky start. I'm very scared about Pep Roulette, even though he's just been signed for 60 million odd. I just can see him getting rotated, brought off early, or not starting a couple games, and that would just you've got to be sure of returns at that price. And Kane has always delivered. He's not as explosive, or well, actually, he can be on his day if he gets a few penalties. It's certainly not as exciting as Haaland, but I think for consistency reasons, I'm going to go for Kane, and then that's why I've got Foden to cover the Man City attack, and I think he's more sure for minutes than Mahrez is, because Pep plays quite a pressing style of play, and now that Sterling's gone, I just believe that having a front line of Haaland, Grealish and Mahrez just doesn't have enough pressing, so I think Foden's got to be there. And we've only got 23 million for the next few spots, so midfielders. I'm going to go for, let's see, 6 million. I think, Martinelli is 6 million. Wow, okay, well, he's definitely in. I think he is, Rashford at 6.5 million as well. Sorry, some of these prices are, goodness me. I mean, Rashford, that's probably fair enough because he hasn't had that many minutes. But I think if Martinelli can nail down that left wing spot at Arsenal, I think that's an absolute steal. I mean, his stats were great despite the minutes, and I think Arteta likes him. So yeah, I think I'm going to go for Martinelli there, and then I think I already know who's going to be my 4.5 million spot because he's just signed for Fulham. Yeah, Andreas. I always feel a bit tentative picking cheap players on the bench who have a high ownership, because obviously if they get transferred out, their price is going to go down. and you're not really going to want to spend a transfer getting rid of that person, but you know, a lot of other people might. So it's a little risky. And then I do want another mid-priced. I do want a mid-priced forward. So I do have 8 million for the forward spot. So I think I will go for Gabriel Jesus at the minute. He looked very good in the preseason game that Arsenal had. I do fear he might play a deeper lying role at Arsenal, but his underlying stats have been amazing for Man City. I mean, he's produced so many goals and assists with barely any minutes. So I think if he gets the minutes, I think he's a great pick. And obviously with 52.6% ownership, so do a lot of people. And then for the 4.5 million spot, I'm going to put in Delap at the moment. I know he's the lowest owned, 4.5 million, but he is linked to a move to Southampton, so that's just precautionary, because I think if he moves to Southampton, I think his ownership will rocket up, and at the moment I don't think people want to put a 4.5 million forward from Man City there. But I don't want to go for Greenwood, because having he's not going to be that sure of game time. I think Gerhardt and Bamford are ahead of him in the pecking order. So there's got to be quite a few injuries for him to really be starting any games. And I think he's just very likely to be transferred out if there's a lot of forwards who do well. So I think you're basically just assuring yourself of losing money by going for Greenwood. So you're just better off picking one of the forwards. If you have a 4.5 million forward, you're better off picking one that is just a lower ownership, so they don't fall in price. But yeah, that is going to be my first draft, I think. Obviously, there's 3 weeks before the game actually launches, so I assume this will change quite a bit. I might lean more towards the 5 at the back, but it's just not how I like to play the game. I like playing with a 4-4-2, but yeah, I think that looks quite good as a first team, and obviously Salah will be captain for the first game, and honestly I think he might be captain for most games in the first few weeks. I think I'm going to captain him against Man United as well. I captained him both times against Man United last year and he did well, so I see no reason to change that. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll hopefully have some more content on the way, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.